exclusive YouTube video. Typically, I am on TikTok. However, I want to be able to grow my YouTube channel. So this is my first exclusive YouTube video. So I guess a little bit about my channel is, just pretty much discuss things that interest me, but like I don't really I discuss sports, of course, because of Shedeur Sanders, who's one of my favorite football players, and who is also the reason why I started watching football, because I'm not a sports person. I do not claim to be a sports person. Never claim to be a sports person, but I do want to be able to, get in on the Shedeur, it's the algorithm, but definitely just take what I would be looking to do is just take a little more nuanced approach that, the things that people are not really reading into, because it's so easy for us to kind of like overlook some things when it comes to what's happening with Shedeur. We get so overly excited and so reactionary, and I would do that, but I just started saying, let me look at this a little deeper, whether through a spiritual lens or rather through a therapeutic lens, because I am a marriage and family therapist. So, I just want to look at that, but I want to look tonight through an accountability lens, and that is not always a comfortable lens for a lot of people, but it's going to have to be. And I think that, and I hope that you can appreciate the what I will bring to that vantage point. And so, but y'all, so we're going to talk about accountability, but we're going to talk about it from Coach Deion Sanders and how that has followed his son into the NFL, both of his sons. So let's start with the obvious. The obvious thing is this. I think you have this quarterback in Shedeur who is struggling to display his talent. Is there, whether you're his supporter or whether you're his coach, he's very talented. That is, not up for discussion. But in him being talented has become a very big obstacle to him. There's an obstacle that's infringing upon that. So, guys, I really do. And a lot of people look at it from they're paying him back for his dad. And there is some truth in that. But guys, there's also some truth in his dad creating that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that saying, you cannot create the storm, then get upset when it rains. So let's look at that. I was around when Coach Sanders came into the NFL. Coach Sanders is actually 7 years older than me. I think he just had a birthday. But anyway, I'm 51. I think he's like 59, 58, 59. So anyway, younger than him. But I lived in Georgia. So I remember when he came to the Falcons, and it was just like this whole big thing. And it was a big deal because he was good, right? Hold on. Sorry. So he was really good. He was very good at what he did. So sometimes, guys, we're good at what we do. It's okay to be good at what we do. It's okay to be gifted. It's not okay to be obnoxious. Coach Sanders was very obnoxious, and the way that he conducted himself was off-putting. I was young, like I said, I was a kid, and I was put off by, a lot of times, it's like when he was around like MC Hammer and in videos and doing his other things and making his songs, at first it was kind of cute and cool and whatever, to like, oh my gosh, Deion Sanders has a, whatever, because he was so good on the field. But then I got to a point, I'm like, oh my God, whenever he come out with something, because it was just, he was always over the top. So when you're like really over the top, it's one thing to be over the top, right? But it's one thing to be over the top 24/7 and not turn it off. And that's what it was. It was always this huge persona that was out there, and but like I say, in front of this persona, okay, was this incredibly gifted athlete. So you had an incredibly gifted, obnoxious athlete who could not contain himself, who could not behave. Let's just be real. Who could not mature, right? Who was very immature, okay? And I know we like to use the word confidence when it comes to Coach Sanders. But guys, one thing that we know is confidence is not loud. We say that we're so quick to say that when it comes to women. Hey, confidence is not loud. But confidence is not loud, even as it relates to a man, even as it relates to an incredibly gifted athlete, right? And so you have this incredibly gifted athlete who does not have, who can't read the room, who feels as though they are above the law, and in a sense he was. Coach Sanders could fight on the field. They would break the fight up, and he would be right back on the field the next snap. So there was never going to be a point where they just took him out the game and ejected him and suspended him, fined him, whatever, because he was that gifted. Okay. However, but even as a person is gifted and good at what they do, eventually, people grow tired of it, right? Unfortunately, when a team wanted the Super Bowl, hey, let's go get Coach Sanders, So Coach Sanders ended with San Francisco 49ers. He ended up giving them a Super Bowl. The Cowboys wanted a Super Bowl ring. They went and got Coach Sanders, and the Cowboys got a Super Bowl ring. And so, yes, I mean, that boasted the ego even worse, and it was just so in your face. It was everything Coach Sanders did was so in your face. It was never tempered, never. And now in learning that that Coach Sanders took care of his entire family, his mother, his sister, he took care, and he tried to take care of his father. Who's going to hold him accountable? Who's going to say, what you're doing is probably not the right thing to do? It's you're pissing people off. You're making enemies, even though you don't think you're making enemies. You are making enemies. Like who tempers that, right? So we move forward. Let's move forward. Let's come to the to the present age. You got Shiloh, who coming to the NFL undrafted now. comes in, and it did not take long for him to prove people right, because their whole thing is they're just like their dad. You got Shedeur, you got Shiloh. Oh Lord, do we want to deal with it? And that's really what it probably ended up, the discussion was. Not so much as do we want to deal with Coach Sanders, because I think people could see the maturity, or what he was putting out publicly, because he wasn't as flamboyant. He's just not who he is now. Who he is now is not who he was. However, you got these two young guys who are flashy, and their whole thing is like, do we want to go down this road again, right? Which is why it was so easy to get rid of Shiloh. Shiloh was like, he did exact same thing on the field that his dad did. Punch someone. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all, my throat started itching. So he punched someone. And as a result, Shiloh proved him right. Y'all, we can go down the argument rabbit hole of who started. It wasn't intentional. Yes. Did Shiloh fall for it? Yes. Easy. Hey, let's go out the undrafted kid. Let's get him out of here. Boom. Here goes Shiloh. Yep, I'm ready. And then, you think that you're going to go to another team and make this right? No. You got your one shot, and who knows, they probably would have cut him anyway. I did see a few of his practice highlights when he was with the Buccaneers, and they was not all that impressive. But still, let them cut you because they didn't feel that you fit the Buccaneers and what they needed. Because maybe if they would have released you, they would have then, maybe the San Francisco 49ers would have said, okay, well, let's look at his skill set. And they would have looked at Shiloh's skill set a little differently, right? But you can't look at his skill set when he's out there mirroring his father. Because it was not okay when his father was out on the field fighting, and it was not okay when Shiloh was on the field acting up. It just wasn't okay. All right? And so that's the part that we have to say out loud, and that's okay for us to admit that. Is Coach Sanders still a legend? Yes. Do we still support Shiloh? Yes. So saying it out loud that, Coach Sanders did not set a good example for his sons in his behaviors, in how he behaved. I think it was almost because Shiloh is like his father, very impulsive. It just created a very he gave Shiloh a license, a license to ill, as they used to say. I know, Adam's already told y'all my age, so I'm 51, about to be 52. So, yeah, license to ill, honey. That just shows you how old I am and what kind of music I used to listen to. Oh, boy. But, anyway, that's just something we have to own. And it's okay for us to own that, in our community, which is the foundational Black American community. But we can own that, and we can still support the Sanders, right? Let's move to Shedeur. We oftentimes with Shedeur, we miss it. We miss it all the time. Shedeur is very calculated. He's very smart. He's very thoughtful. One of Shedeur's, I feel, as a therapist's biggest gifts is his ability to see the outcome first, and then he quickly dissects the outcome, and then it creates him to be able to make a very nuanced response, right? Shedeur is not a reactionary person. He's very thoughtful in how he says, but like I say, that's because he can diagnose a situation just like that, and he knows when he's being baited. Look at how he functions in front of the Cleveland media. He's not afraid of the Cleveland media. He knows when he's being baited. He knows, I'm not going to answer this question. He knows how to turn. He's just very, it's not so much his media set, because he's not very, he's media set, but he's not very well spoken. Shedeur is not very well spoken unless he's mush mouth. And I listened to his little 18-minute documentary, and Lord have mercy, I almost went to sleep. It just felt like 18 hours. But so he's not an eloquent speaker at all. But the thing about it, he is very, very, he's just not impulsive. He's just very thoughtful. And as a result of Shedeur being so thoughtful, he doesn't get himself caught up in all kind of craziness, right? And then so the goal was, okay, let him come on in. But, he'll be cut, he'll be out, he'll act a fool, he'll be like his dad, and we're not taking no parts of it. Shedeur is like his mom. He may look like his dad, but Shedeur is more like his mom. Have y'all, I know people love to hate Pilar because, when she divorced, when her and Coach Sanders were going through their divorce, people pick sides, unfortunately. Not me, because it wasn't that serious with me, but people pick sides, right? And so people gonna go with Coach Sanders because he's Hall of Fame, whatever, just this immensely gifted athlete, right? Generational, right? If you ever listen to Pilar, she speaks very calmly, very thoughtful. She doesn't rush her words, and you always can see her thinking, and she has the ability to seek what is the best response, what's the best word. And so she's very intellectual. That is a person who's very intellectual, and a person who just who can diagnose things. She knows, hey, I know the outcome of this, whatever, But, and that's where Shedeur gets that from. People say, okay, he can diagnose people talk about how he can diagnose a defense. He can do it because he's very thoughtful. He has the uncanny ability to see things, and he can see the outcome. And so before there's any follow through, he can see the outcome. Okay? That is where Shedeur shines, and he got that skill set. That skill set was gifted to him from his mom. Whether it was natural just by genetics, or whether he sat and watched things and mimicked his mom, he got that from his mom. His ability to diagnose situations and instantly see the outcome that prepares him to make a very nuanced response, very nuanced response. That is a gift that he received from his mother. When you saw Shiloh out on that field acting a fool, that got him kicked out of the NFL, that is unfortunate. That's something unfortunate that he got from his dad. The impulsivity. Okay? And so Shedeur is a person that would frustrate the hell out of you. Because the bottom line is, whatever you plan for him, trust and believe he already knows. He knows. I bet you that Shedeur is a person that if you ever ask him, you can meet him, and you ever ask him, hey, what do you think of me? He's the type of person that will have you say one word or one sentence or whatever, and he can tell you all about yourself. Because he is so good at diagnosing the world. You know what I'm saying? And you can just see it. I think with Shedeur, he's just so enamored in understanding things, and it seems like, even though his documentary publicly, the bottom line is, in looking at that, Shedeur looks at the world completely different. He doesn't look at the world as an average person. And guys, if you were to listen to Pilar is a very eccentric person. Pilar is very artistic, and a person who's an artist, they see the world completely different. The world is kind of slanted for them. I have a granddaughter who is a gifted artist, and the way she sees things will frustrate you. Sometimes when I'm talking to her and I'm trying to get her to understand and what have you, her arguments are valid, always valid. You always validate kids. But it would frustrate you because it's like, girl, will you stop? But the way that she sees the world is completely different. And Shedeur has that talent and that gift, and that is something that he was able to obtain from his mom. And so I think ultimately the NFL, whomever, policy, they want the ball to drop. They want the shoe to drop. They want to continue to tell Shedeur he's terrible, he's terrible, he's terrible, he's terrible, he's terrible, he's terrible. The worst QB here, the worst QB, the worst percentage here, the worst this, that, and the third. Got 2 speeding tickets and da 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 da. They want him to become frazzled. They want him to become unraveled. The thing about it, though, they don't understand that Shedeur has already diagnosed that. He's already diagnosed that. He knows them. He knows them. Even when they think that they don't, they think they can put words in their mouth. Just like this guy the other day that he was talking, had an interview with, was saying, when did things change? And he was like, did it change in Colorado? Is that what? Shedeur was like, no, Colorado was perfect. That was fun. That was perfect. That was everything. And he let him know it changed the minute I stepped into the league. And he didn't even say it. He didn't say it. He left the reporter he left the reporter stunned because they could not get him. They could not get him to do what was so easy for Shiloh to do, because they're gonna always be looking for ways to undermine Shedeur. Guys, Shedeur can win more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. Guess what? Tom Brady will still be seen as the best QB to ever do it. That is just how, no matter what Shedeur does, he will never get the credit. He will never get credit for it because they're unwilling to reward Coach Sanders, right, with the accolades that his son deserves and that his son would get, right? Because y'all got to think, the bottom line, Pee Wee League, middle school, high school, dad. And that may be another reason why, there's a lot of, people in, whatever, who are skittish about Shedeur, because it's like, no one has ever coached him. How would he do under another coach? He was under a coach that I wouldn't say that, okay, Coach Stefanski was indifferent to Shedeur. It wasn't no hate. He couldn't hate him, because the bottom line is, you only hate a person when they have offended you. Shedeur never offended him. He never did anything to offend him. But he was indifferent, which means that Shedeur was useless to him for what he did. But yet, here this person is, and I have no use for him. And so, he put the pressure on, hoping that Shedeur would just give up, right? And Shedeur did not give up, and as a result, on his own merit, Shedeur had to get out there and just work with what he had, and winning 3 games, and they're looking at, like, we know, okay, here's a kid, they call him a kid, here's a young man who did not get the training development, and he won 3 games. We possibly could have, we probably could have won more games. We cannot have a coach like that on our staff. You didn't give him a chance, and in not giving him a chance, you cost us wins. And they really believed that, and so as a result, he had to go. Coach Stefanski had to go. And so now they have Coach Todd Monken in, and so they're trying to, and he's in to develop players. If you're going to be a winning franchise, you have to develop your players, regardless of what you think of Coach Sanders, regardless of what you think of Shiloh. Obviously, Shiloh didn't really mean much to him, because they're not even talking about it no more. Only thing that they're doing now is they have an ongoing smear campaign against Shedeur, and they're trying to figure out which pile of shit can they rub in Shedeur's face, and he's gonna lay down and take it. And he's not. He's not. Because he always turn it back on them, because he has the ability and the gift to diagnose the situation before he gets to it. And so what he does is, he don't come into a situation defensive. He comes in very cool, very calm, very collected, and he just sit back. Bring it on. Come on. You're not gonna get me. And thank God that, he had a mother that could give him that balance, because if not, guys, I'm sorry, he wouldn't have, if all, how they say, if all you have is a hammer, everything becomes a nail. If all Shedeur had was his father to go on, he wouldn't be in the NFL. He wouldn't have lasted. This is 2 seasons, contract or no contract. They can cut Shedeur, and their cap hit will probably it's not going to be nothing. They're not going to have, insignificant cap hit. The thing that I love about Shedeur is that he's not giving them nothing. My mama always used to tell us when we left the house, don't give these grown folks nothing to talk about. Or don't give these white folks nothing to talk about. And so, Shedeur's not giving them nothing to talk about. There's a song, let's give them something to talk about. Shedeur's like, let's give them nothing to talk about. They can never, ever talk about him being disrespectful. They can never talk about him being violent. They have nothing. The only thing they have is the fact that he is the product of a very arrogant father who had no accountability around him when he was in the league. And that's just my take on it. Okay, Okay, y'all, so I'm so excited. This is my first full-length video. I know it's like 30 minutes. I didn't mean for it to go this long. I was trying to talk. I was hoping I could talk fast, but you know, like I just said, it's just a conversation. Just a conversation, guys. So please like, comment, subscribe, share, and because I want to just, I do want to get up because I think that we can have larger discussions surrounding Shedeur and him being in the NFL, and not always talk about the conspiracies and things that we don't know, but there are things that we, you know, that we can you know, take a more nuanced approach towards that can kind of, you know, filter out some of the other things. And I mean, some of the discussions that I will be bringing forth would be difficult. It is very difficult for us to, you know, to accept that perhaps his father's brashness and whatever had such a negative impact on where his son is today. But it did, guys. It did. You know, it did. It did. Okay, guys. Love y'all. Good night.